Good morning, everybody. Depending on where you're at in the world, could be afternoon or evening. Hope you guys have a great Sunday. Sitting down in the markets now to do some quick analysis, and I'm going to make this video fairly short and sweet because it is pretty to the point. We finally have some nice one-sided directional bias on the US dollar. Nice to see. My hope is that we can start breaking out of this chop area here and actually get a little bit lower. Now, if you guys have been living under a rock for the past couple of weeks, you wouldn't know that the U.S. Fed came out with an interest rate decision and have decided to start to ease interest rates, which is pretty crazy. A lot of global currencies are starting to lower their interest rate as well, too. It's just going to be a race to the bottom, devaluing their dollar. So I think this could be the start of a big push of something very, very interesting to come. But I'll leave that comment and that explanation until a little bit later on down the road. Looking at the Forex calendar for the week, a couple of landmines you want to be aware of. Obviously, we've got some Aussie news. Governor Lowe speaking here shortly. In the next, I don't know, about 6 or so hours. And then we've got, starting out Monday, we've got some Euro news for the day, and that's really about it. Medium impact Euro news, nothing else to speak of on Monday. Going into Tuesday, we've got OPEC meetings. I'm not going to do any analysis for crude oil today because OPEC meetings are happening on Tuesday. So I've got some bias on crude oil, and I'm going to share that with my members. I'm not going to do that for this free version here for this weekly review because I think there's still some stuff left up in the air with oil. So I will get to that, and I will do a full review for you for free live on YouTube, posted up there for everybody to watch once it happens. And I think it's going to be interesting anyway to see. Tuesday, we've got U.S. dollar, we've got CB consumer confidence, and we've got Fed Chair Powell speaking. So Tuesday could be a bit of a bump here and there on the U.S. dollar and related pairs, so watch for that. Wednesday, we've got inflation report hearings for the pound sterling, and then we've got core durable goods for the U.S. dollar to wrap up Wednesday. So all in all, Tuesday, Wednesday should be nice fluid trading days, more continuation, one-sided directional price actions, what I'm looking for. And then we've got final GDP numbers on Thursday for US dollar, some medium impact news for the euro, and then again G20 meetings all day Thursday and all day Friday. I don't believe those are going to be doing a whole bunch of the markets and pushing them around, so you don't have to worry about them too much. And then wrapping up the week on Friday, we've got cable coming in with current accounts, final GDP numbers, some more Euro news, and GDP numbers for Canadian dollar, and some medium impact news events for the US dollar. So all in all, like I say, I believe we're going to have a fairly decent week in terms of fluid price action for Forex. So let's get into the markets here real quick. So US dollar, as I mentioned, we are, I think we're going to be heading down. The Fed came out and decided not to raise interest rates, and in fact, they're going to start lowering them, going into a lowering, easing the lending policy and making it a lot easier to get money. We'll probably see one, if not two, interest rate movements to the downside this year. The most recent one, a couple of weeks ago, they decided to leave the interest rates where they are at. And as a direct result, we obviously see this nice deep plunge in price action as of the end of the month here. So keep in mind, we are summer trading. We are officially in the full swings of summer here now. And so a lot of money moves to the sidelines. Now, don't be discouraged. It's not like there aren't opportunities out there, but you definitely want to pick and choose your opportunities much more carefully and scrutinize your setups much more diligently, because again, it is summer trading, and the markets don't always have to react the way that they normally should because of that volatility and volume. Now, typically, for all you retail trend line traders out there, you've marked this on this type of a trend line on your chart, and you say, well, support. Well, what's going on here? This should be support. Well, again, like I say, if you've been living under a rock and you haven't been looking at the U.S. Fed monetary policy, you would know why price is falling off, and it's going to continue falling off. Now, I think by the end of this upcoming week, we'll have this low here taken out, maybe, potentially, possibly, probably could be even these lows under here. I'm actually looking for a swing underneath this level here, and that comes in at about 94.50. I think is going to be the downside target on the week if we get a nice push in price. Now, you look at this from low to high. We were about 160 pips. We started the week out at last week out at 97.20. We finished at 95.60. So over a $1.50 movement on the US dollar. I think we'd easily see that push to the downside one more time. And I'm thinking, again, like I say, this area down in here is going to get tagged around beneath those two lows. So that's my overall target on the week. Now, how we're going to start out is another story. Do we start out and start making a push higher up into this range here, them finding support in this region, and then falling off and shooting for that low? That could certainly be a possibility. I'll be watching for that when price opens up. We haven't seen the markets open yet for Sunday trading. As of yet, the Asian markets aren't open. It'll be about another 3-4 hours from now, so we'll have to watch and see. I won't be making any moves on this until probably Monday, if not Tuesday, London Open. We'll have to see how that goes. So keep in mind. So that's what I'm looking for. I am expecting a bit of a reaction now, whether it goes up this high, if it gets above or below. I'm sorry, above these two wick lows in here and pushes up into this range. I don't know. There is a small little gap up in here that we also need to be concerned about. Price could easily wick up into there, but I don't see any news events on the week, like I was saying, that would constitute a deep retracement like that. Maybe at some later point down the road, once we've swept the lows under here, we could see that move up. But until then, I think we're just going to be business as usual to the downside. So Monday, Tuesday trading, I'll be looking for some sort of a retracement to look at getting in on the opposite side, and watching for a run down. And this will be my initial target 1, target 2 down here. So we'll see how that pans out. Now, that's the US dollar. Don't actually trade the US dollar for obvious reasons. Use it for a guide. And a hedge against other foreign currency, as we all know. And we are looking at the Euro USD right now. So we saw the Euro USD push above some major highs in here. Calling this one here for a while, and we finally saw that. And I don't know if you guys, this is from last week. This is actually, our members got this. I'm going to give you a little insight in this as well too. I did some live analysis for my members when price was right here. This was Tuesday, about midnight New York time, last Tuesday, and I said I want to see price push down below these equal lows in here that were created from the 2 weeks previous, and then gain some support and push higher. And look at this trend line that I drew right here. I've just kind of fluked out on it, but it's exactly what price did to the pip almost. I actually had a level in here of 111.85 as an area to bounce, and it actually went down to 111.79, I think, on the low end. No, 111.80, and rejected perfectly. So if you had gotten along, if you were part of my group, you would have seen about an upside trajectory of over 120 pips on the week. My call was at 185. I'm sorry, 185 pips to the upside. My mistake with this push higher. My target was actually just these equal highs right here. This little juice that we have on the end of the week was just icing on the cake, really. So that's our call. So now again, something similar that I'd be looking on the US dollar, but reverse. Don't want to see price come down and have to trade back into this range here, but I would like to see a bit of a retracement off of this. I want to see them come down, rebalance a little bit lower, and then we'll see how Wednesday, Thursday, Friday pan out for the rest of the week. But that's sort of what I'm looking at as a setup. Now again, on the upside, I think that we'll probably see price run above this high here. And again, just putting that up onto the chart, I think 114.60 could be an easy target, easy target to achieve on the week, as long as we get continuation to the upside. So those are my targets on Euro USD. Again, I'm just going to whip through these here because there's not much to talk about, and I don't want to get too detailed. Obviously, I'm going to save those for our members, but for the free stuff here, I think you guys can kind of ascertain what I'm driving at here. Now, pound dollar. I have been hesitant on pound dollar just because of everything that's going on over there with all their parliamentary elections and Brexit and everything else, and really heavy to the downside. Now that we're seeing a reversal in the US dollar, we should see this one come about face and start to make some runs higher. Now you can see Euro GBP has been making a big push to the upside. This was actually what was fueling that big move down on pound dollar, and so I believe we're probably going to see Euro USD move a lot better than what we're going to see cable move. But nonetheless, I think that we could easily sweep above these highs on the week, and even this high in here at 128.10. We're right now at 127.40, so that would be easy 60 pips to the upside. Real simple to achieve, I think, with euro, but with pound. But there's a small area under these lows here. See that low there and that low there? I think there is a chance this thing could come back down and potentially retag off of 126 level. Now it's a ways down there, so it's don't hold my feet to the fire on that one. But if you see pound dollar starting to decline, and you see the highs of the previous Thursday get taken out, and then the Wednesday high gets taken out, just know that that's the level that they're looking for, and I would expect to see some level of support into this area and then a retracement higher. But we may not get that out of the gates just going down to a lower time frame. I could definitely see the cable coming back down and potentially retagging off of those old highs right in there, and then maybe we'll see some kind of a bounce. But again, I am expecting continued upside movement on the dollar. On the pound dollar, and I think 128.10 on the upside is just the start. I think that would be the first target, and I think the second target would be somewhere probably above these highs up here. But we'll see. That's a ways away, a couple hundred pips away. We'll see how the week pans out. And again, there is some news on the cable, so you just want to watch for that. Euro GBP, again, I don't use this one to trade, but I do use it as a gauge for what euro and cable are doing. We're seeing some hesitation at current level. As long as price stays above this level right here, I think we're probably going to see continuation to the upside, and potentially they could try to reach for this old high here this week. We've seen a nice range up, but I just want to make sure, as long as we're not seeing this level give way, I think it's going to lend a lot of support to the idea of going long on Euro USD, and cable may just kind of be taken along with it, but just watch for that. US CAD, excuse me. I was wrong on US CAD in terms of where the high was set in on this weekly run from last week. I wanted to see price come in up to 13500 and then reject. We didn't get that, unfortunately. We just had price on, it was Monday, Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday of last week. It set the high, just coming above those old highs in there from the previous week. I was a little disappointed because I wanted to see one of two things happen. I want to see actually price react stronger to the downside, lower than what it did, and then price ended up pushing up higher into this range here, and I wanted to see them come up into 135 and then drop lower. We didn't get that. It just pretty much hung around right in this level, or right in here, and then fell to the downside. And so it is what it is. But overall, we all knew that the US CAD was going to sink lower, sweeping all these lows here, and that's exactly what it did. So I'm not expecting too much difference from what the US dollar is doing. Now, we could see it pop up into this range in here, but I think we'll probably see some resistance somewhere in this level here, and then more than likely we'll see that move to the downside in tandem with what the US dollar is doing. And we'll see new lows set on US CAD. I think easily, borrow this line here, I think we'll easily see the 130.60 level run. Again, there's a low. Let me take off the day dividers here. There's a low here, several lows in here, and maybe if we get a lot of movement to the downside, I don't think we'll get down this far this week, but we could even see these lows get run out. But I think we're going to see a nice steady mover to the downside one more time on the Canadian dollar. Two very, very symmetrical weeks as well, too, from low to high. You see that there? That week, and then this week here. Very, very symmetrical, so I like to see that. And then finally, UJ. This thing finally released. I was waiting for this forever. It was just chopping sideways for the longest time, and it was actually driving me nuts. I got some earlier trades in on this. This was actually panning out quite nicely. It was moving, lockstep with what the US dollar was doing, and then it kind of started doing its own thing and really showing some weakness. And it was actually, in my opinion, it was actually a bit of a prelude of, I think, what was to come on the US dollar, where the US dollar was showing signs of strength to sideways price behavior, where this was really showing a lot of weakness and a lot of hesitation. Wasn't filling in old gaps up here, failing to get to new highs, creating new lows, typical downward trajectory, as the US dollar was saying it should be doing something different. So that what made me a little bit hesitant on this one, and we can see why. Obviously, we have a big move to the downside. Now going forward, again, lots of levels here to watch for. Let me get rid of this line here because that's not relevant. But obviously, we've got a big low right there that I think is going to be the target on this week. I believe we'll see this right down around there, and more than likely, we'll probably even see this level right about here tagged out. I'm going to put a price tag on this. It may not happen this week, but I think that there's a good chance that we could see 105's hit on US yen, which would be about a real nice 150 pip plus push down. So keep in mind, that's what I'm looking for. A little bit of area above Friday's high here that I think they could come up and try to reach back into, and then hopefully they would fall back to the downside. So that's what I'm watching for on several major Forex pairs. Hopefully it gives you guys a good idea. I was going to talk about Australian dollar, but I don't think I'm going to. I'm going to save that for my members because I've got a couple of real good setups on that one for this week. So if you want to check that out, go to f45trading.com, sign up, go into our chat room, and I post charts constantly, do a lot of discussion on several of these markets on a daily basis, so there's a lot of value to be had there. And I wanted to finish up on gold. Check this out, guys. If you are not a gold trader, this is probably a reason why you should maybe start looking at the market. Made an all-time high on gold. Sorry, I shouldn't say an all-time high. We are now in territory that hasn't been seen on gold since 2013. Look at this one candle right here. We swung above this candle, which was a 2014 candle, and we're now trading back up into this guy right into here, which is 2013. So as long as we see continued weakness on US dollar, I believe everyone will be shifting their interest and moving money out of the dollar and putting it into safe securities like gold. Surprise, surprise. And we could start to see a massive run up on gold again here. My target, I'm going to put this out here now, 115.20 to the upside. I believe that's where we're going to see gold in the next little while. It's not going to happen this month, may not happen next month, but it will get there, I believe, before the end of this year. So keep that in mind on gold. Could be a couple of real good setups coming down the pipeline. So I'm going to give you that as a freebie if you are a gold trader. If not, like I say, look, you see these highs in here? I had that X on here. I've had that X on there for a very, very long time, guys. I told you that it was going to run up and hit that, and look, it's exactly what it did this week. Beautiful price delivery this week, so very excited to see that. So, hope you had an awesome weekend. Hope you have an even better week trading this week. Like I say, if you're not a member, come check us out, f45trading.com. There's something for everybody. I think you're really going to enjoy it. And if you are a member, we will see you in the chat room, bright and shiny, tomorrow morning, posting charts, looking at levels, discussing Forex and other related markets. So until then, I hope you guys have a great week. Thanks for watching.